Hi guys, welcome back to Mother's Movement Minis. Today we are looking a little bit into the neck, the shoulders, the wrists and the toes. Just a couple of things to bring a bit of mobility and a bit of strength into those areas. So we're going to start by lying down. Straight away, let's draw the right knee into the chest. Left leg can be long down the mat or it can be bent with the foot flat on the floor, your choice. Just start to roll through the ankle of that right foot. So coming straight in with the feet. Notice if there's any sounds, any creakiness, any musicalness in the ankle. And then we're going to reach this right leg up to the sky. It doesn't have to be straight, depending on how your hamstrings are feeling. And we're just going to point and flex the toes just a few times. And then maybe bring the rolling back into the ankle. So grabbing onto wherever feels good. We're going to take a breath in as we peel the head and shoulders off the floor. Maybe you'll feel this a little bit into the hamstrings as well. And then breathe out, soften back down. Let's do that this time with the foot flexed. Take a breath in, lift belly to thigh. And breathe it out, soften it back down. And then finally with the foot pointed. Breath in, lifts you up. And breath out, softens you back down. And then we'll do exactly that on the second side. So let that right leg slide away, or maybe the foot's planted on the ground. And draw the left knee into the chest. Maybe taking a few moments just to roll through the ankle, just checking in with how the ankle feels, the joints of the foot feel. Again, is it musical? And then we'll take this left foot up to the sky. So grabbing onto the back wherever feels good. And maybe we point and flex the toes a few times. Maybe even spread the toes apart, find space between each toe. And again, let's just keep the foot neutral as we breathe in, lift belly towards thigh. And breathe it out, gently soften it back down. Toes flex towards the face as we take a beautiful breath in. And breathe out as we soften. Last time, point the toes as you breathe in. And breathe it out gently. Bring it down. All right, so bring both knees into the chest now. We're just going to take a really nice, gentle rock and roll up to seated. And when we arrive there, let's bring the feet out in front, legs long, and there can be a bend in the knees if your hamstrings are tight. So we're just going to connect to the shoulders a little bit now. So point your fingers towards the bum. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. And take a nice lift in the chest. Your choice, you could tuck the chin and get a little bit of a stretch through the back of the neck. Or maybe you drop the head back in the sort of basket that your shoulders have created. Wherever you are, just take a few more breaths. Squeeze shoulder blades towards each other. Lift chest to the sky. And then gently come up, seated. All right, so we're just going to bring this into a few little wrist exercises. You can sit in any position that feels comfortable for you. So the first one, we're going to bring the hands into fists. We're just going to start to roll them up. Hands or arms can be anywhere really. They can be out to the side, up to the sky, whatever feels good. I like the arms out to a T shape. Just get the forearms involved a little bit too. So you're just rolling, creating space in the wrists, noticing what's going on here. All right. And then a slightly stranger one. We're going to place the one palm out in front like you're saying stop. And then draw the fingertips back towards your face. If I just turn to the side and stop. Gently pull the fingertips back. You should get just a little bit of a stretch down the front of the wrist. And then let that go. And then a slightly more strange version. Use the same hand. I know I've swapped hands. You bring the fingertips down and then you press the back of the hand. Now this one's usually accompanied with a scrunched up face because it feels a little bit odd. So remember you're in control. Only go to the point that feels right. And then give them a shake. We'll do that same thing on the second side. So opposite hand, palm reaches out like a stop sign. And then draw those fingertips back towards the face. And again, you get that little bit of a stretch down the top of the wrist. And then those fingertips point down. I'm just going to do my opposite hand now for balance. And you press in. Again, just be mindful. You don't want a super strong sensation here. You just want to make sure you feel that stretch. Good, and then let it go. Shake out the wrists. That's another good exercise right there. Just shaking it out. And then let's make our way to the tabletop. All right, so we're going to take a couple of rounds of our cat and cow. I want you to really think about this being an upper back movement rather than movement from the lower back. So wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. As we take a breath in, think about lifting the chest, dropping the belly, squeeze the shoulder blades towards each other. Then as you breathe out, tucking the chin, think about the shoulder blades opening away from each other. And we'll just do this 2 more times. So the breath in, shoulder blades draw towards each other. And then breath out, feel that upper back start to release round. Last time. As we know, cat and cow's a really wonderful way to bring a bit of mobility into the spine. Good. And then come back up through. All right, we're going to come into a gentle twist from here. This one's a little bit of weight into the neck and it opens the shoulders. It's a real gentle one. So we're going to take the right arm up to the sky. Take a big breath in as you lift that up. As we breathe out, we're going to thread it underneath the body. I'll just swap arms and bring that head and shoulder down to the ground. Make sure your head feels comfortable, your neck feels comfortable. Maybe you take the top arm and place it on the lower back. That just gives you a little bit more of an opening in the shoulder. Just stay for a couple of breaths. Gentle twist. There is a gentle bit of weight bearing on the neck. And then we bring the hand down. If you popped it on the lower back. Breathe in, reach the arm back up to the sky. Good, and then breathe it back. We'll do this on the second side. So whichever hand you didn't just use, lift the opposite one. And again, we thread this arm underneath. Head and shoulder comes down to the floor. Taking a moment to check your neck is comfortable. And then take the hand onto the lower back if you wish. Just a few breaths, feeling that gentle twist for shoulders, a little bit of pressure in that neck. Good. And then bring the hand down, reach the arm up to the sky. And come through. All right, now this one's a little bit of a strange one. This is for head, neck, and upper back shoulders. It's called rabbit pose. If you need to watch me first, then come in, you're welcome to. Otherwise, join in with me. So the crown of the head is going to come as close down to the knees as you can. From here, we're going to reach back towards the heels. And then we're going to activate the shoulder stretch. We're going to push our shoulders to the top of the mat. Really think about that compression between chin and chest. And we're aiming to feel quite a nice stretch across the upper back here. There is a little bit of pressure in the neck. You're in control here, so if it's too much, you can come out. Really think of rounding into those shoulders. And then to mindfully come out, we bring the hands down and slowly help the head back up. Ooh, it's a bit of a funny one, but for me it's one of the only poses that really gets a stretch into my upper back. Okay, this is one I really dislike. Okay, we're going to come into our screaming toes. So the toes are tucked under. This is so good for the toes, but it's not pleasant. And we're going to sit our bum back onto our heels. Take a moment to spread the toes so they all get a little bit of a reach towards the ground. And then if you're loving this as much as me, you're already going to be feeling it, and we're going to need a distraction. So we're going to clasp our hands together. As we breathe in, we're going to reach the palms up to the sky, get long through the sides of the body. As we breathe out, we're going to reach the back of the hands away as we tuck the chin and round into the upper back. And we'll go again, breathe in, take the fingertips all the way up to the sky. And then breathe out, round into the upper back, draw belly button up and in. Just one more round, guys, toes are almost free. Take a breath in, reach it to the sky. And breathe it out, tuck the chin, draw belly button up and in. Oh, okay. So we're going to slowly release those toes. Hands come down, peel the bum off the heels, and then just tap the tops of the feet onto the floor. And get rid of that. Nice work, guys. All right, I really just like that. So we're going to do the opposite. We're going to actually work the upper part of the foot. I call it an ankle stretch, but it kind of stretches the whole foot really. So we're going to sit back onto the heels. I'm just going to move forward a little bit. And again, you are in control here. We're going to bring the hands behind us. We're going to put all of our weight, making sure the tops of the feet are pressing down, and start to lift the knees. Now, obviously, if you've got really tight quads or knee issues, it might prevent you from getting into this pose, and that's okay. If you are here, go to that point where you feel that lovely stretch across the top of the feet. And hold here. Breathe. And then gently let that go. Two pretty strong movements for the feet there. All right, let's bring the palms of the hands down to the floor. Let's give our feet a little bit of a rest. Spread the fingers wide. Let's warm up into our wrists and our shoulders again. The toes tuck under, lift the hips to the sky, and find downward facing dog. What we're going to do from here is ripple from down dog to plank a few times, just to warm into wrists and shoulders. So as we breathe in, come forward to your plank. Maybe see what it's like to lift high on tiptoes. Maybe see what it feels like to press the heels down to the floor. And then push the hips back up, down dog. Now you can just repeat that, or if you want a little bit a different variation, ripple back to your plank. Drop the knees towards the floor without letting them actually land. Send the bum back to the heels, then take it back to the sky to down dog. So 2 variations, do 3 rounds. So the breath in brings shoulders over wrists, starting to bring a bit of strength there. The breath out either lifts you up to down dog or drops the knees, takes the bum back to the heels and lifts you up to the sky. Keeping that going. Of course, if you're pressing back into the heels in your plank and in your down dog, you're also working into the feet again. You might even be getting a little calf stretch. Coming onto the tips of the toes, starting to bring a bit of movement into the toes again. When you've done your 3 rounds, gently let the knees come back down. All right, a little bit more into the wrists here. So staying in your tabletop, turn the fingertips to face your knees. You might want to do this one at a time or both at the same time if it feels okay. If you're not getting much of a stretch here, you're going to just start to walk your bum a little bit back towards the heels and then stop where you feel that stretch across the top of the wrist. Similar to the one we did while we were seated, there's a bit more pressure applied here, so do be gentle. Make sure there's still some space between your ears and your shoulders. And then come back up and release that. Shake that out. And then we've got one more in this tabletop position. This one again is a bit odd. We're going to bring the back of the hand down to the floor. This one's new, or you've got really tight wrists. I do again recommend one hand at a time. Of course, if you can, we do both. And again, that might be enough, just the pressure on the back of the hand. Or start to bring the bum slightly back towards the heels. You might find you don't go quite as far back here, that's okay. Again, we're just here for that sensation. And then release fingertips. Oh, release back of hands. And just sit back, have a bit of a shake. Let that go. Oh. All right, so wrist should be pretty fired up. We're just going to come into a shoulder stand. And this one is going to give a little bit of strength building into the neck and a bit of opening into the shoulders. But do notice it's shoulder stand, not neck stand, all right? So we're going to come to lie down. Last little bit now. Bring the back of the body down to the floor. All right, so first thing we need to do is shuffle our shoulders underneath our body. As we know, shoulders are where the weight is going to go. We're then going to use a little bit of momentum to lift the bum off the floor. Try not to move your head or neck when you're in this position. And if you need to shuffle the shoulders or the elbows in a little bit more, do. So this position here is your baby shoulder stand. Of course, if you'd like to take it any further, you can lift the feet up towards the sky. Keep the hands on the lower back for support. If you start to feel the weight going into the neck, again, shuffle those shoulders underneath the body. Some of you might wish to play with plow. So if you're taking a plow, you're going to bring the feet behind you. They might land on the floor. And then if they do, press the toes down, press the heels away as if there's a wall behind you. And you should get quite a strong hamstring stretch, but also a little bit of a stretch for the feet as well. There's a slight tuck of the chin. Again, staying here for a few breaths. And then wherever you are to come out, bend the knees towards the face and use your hands like brakes to slowly soften you. And the last little bit is we're just going to relieve the neck, because although we were using our shoulders, weight in our shoulders, the neck still can take it. So just pop yourselves up to seated. Any seated position. Palms in the lap. And just start to take a few neck rolls. You might just look over one shoulder, then the other. You might tuck the chin down to the chest or drop the head slightly back. Just easing out any tension might have built up. And to finish, take the hands onto the back of the head. As we breathe in, open the elbows, lift the chest. As we breathe out, draw the elbows in, take a tuck of the chin. 2 more rounds. Breathe in, open the elbows, open the chest. Breathe out, take a tuck of the chin. And your last one, open the elbows, open the chest. And draw chin in, round. Coming back to neutral. Let the palms of the hands rest into the lap. Hopefully you found some of these exercises useful. This is where we'll be ending our practice.